Alright guys, so Dave Bautista has recently said that James Gunn is going to completely obliterate the DCU. He said he's going to completely scrap it and start anew. So I'm guessing what this means is that a close friend of James Gunn, someone like Dave Bautista, who had worked with James Gunn multiple times in the MCU, clearly knows a thing or two about what James Gunn's going to do. He probably has conversations with James Gunn, and he said that everything is gone. From the DCU as we know it, it's completely starting fresh. Does this mean that every actor in the DCU is gone? Is that what this means? Does this mean that Ben Affleck is done? Michael Keaton is done? Does this mean Jason Momoa is completely done? I don't really know. But what it does mean is that everything that happened before is now irrelevant. So anything you thought of the DCU, you have to push out of your mind because it's going to be a new universe. It's going to be a new world, and it all starts with the rebranding. They completely changed. It's gone from DCEU to the DCU. And now that they've cut a bunch of actors, one being The Rock, another being Henry Cavill as Superman, that was much hyped, now he's cut, and Warner Brothers as a whole is completely scrapping a whole bunch of series like Fantastic Beasts. So getting back to the DCU, I think this is the best decision. I think this is the best thing James Gunn could have done because it seemed like the DCU was trying to find their footing and they were trying to find their way as they went, but it took so many turns, took so many drastic changes that it just got too much, too confusing, and people lost hope. And I think it's good to start something and try and figure out as you go and let it evolve and see what the audience likes, but when you continue to change it over and over again, people just get too annoyed and confused that you're never going to save it, right? That universe was never going to be saved. No matter who they brought in, James Gunn, Zaslav, anybody bringing back Henry Cavill was not going to fix the problem. They were just putting band-aids over the wound, but they weren't getting in there and stitching it up, which is what he's done. He's gone in, he's stitched it up, it's closed, it's over. That chapter of the DCU is done. So now where do they go? In my opinion, I think they recast everything. I think they start at a different point. I think maybe they build the world around a new Superman or a new Batman. Batman would be my option. I would say it's much better to build a world around Batman than anyone else in the DCU. Very similar to how Marvel built a world around Iron Man. It all started with that film and you knew exactly where they were going with it. The DCU need to do the same thing. And I think James Gunn knows this, so I think he's going to completely recast according to the vibe they want to go with. They need to have a direct plan for, we want our world to be like this. Marvel's got the little bit of humor coupled with the stakes, right? DCU, I think, can go darker. I think that's got to be their vibe. As we've seen with every DC movie that was actually good, they were always dark. The Batman movie with Matt Reeves, or the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy, while they're not part of the DCU, they were still dark, and that made the movie better. So I think DC need to be a dark franchise. I think James Gunn knows this, and he's going to recast accordingly. I think with Jason Momoa, a great thing they could do, I talked about in another video, is to take him out of Aquaman, build up the DC world, and then bring him back as a villain. I think he would play an amazing villain to go against Aquaman, right? So I think that's where they have to go. I think James Gunn is on the right path here, and I'm glad that it's been cleared up by a close friend in Dave Bautista, and we know for sure that they know what they're doing with the DCU, and we know that they're going to look to build it better for the audiences and fans, because let's be honest, it has been a disappointment. But let me know down below what you think James Gunn should do with the DCU, where do you think they'll go with it, and do you think they'll fire everyone involved at the moment? Let me know down below. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all on my next video.